Let us look at this statement 2 here. It has two parts. The first part says atoms of each element are stable, and the second says that they emit a characteristic spectrum. We know for sure that the second part is true, but the first part is false if by stability we mean nuclear stability. We know the nuclei of radioactive nuclides are unstable. Therefore, to say atoms of each element are stable would be false. In that case, the overall statement is also false, because false and true is false. But if that is what we mean by stability here, then understand that these two parts are unrelated. The characteristic line spectrum of atoms has nothing to do with nuclear stability. But the first part is true if by stability we mean electrodynamic stability of the atom. All atoms, radioactive or non-radioactive, are electrodynamically stable, contrary to the prediction of classical physics. In that case, the overall statement is true. And if that is what we mean by stability, understand that these two parts are connected. These two represent two colossal failures of classical physics. Then which of these two is the correct interpretation or more appropriate interpretation? The second one. Now, on page 303, in point 5 of the new edition of the NCERT second year physics textbook, there is the same exact statement with a small difference. It says atoms of most elements are stable and they emit a characteristic spectrum. Now, is this statement correct? No. This statement is clearly wrong and it must be corrected in the NCERT textbook. Because if you look at the previous and next points, you can clearly understand that there we are talking about the electrodynamic stability of all atoms contrary to the prediction of classical physics. According to Maxwell's laws of electrodynamics of classical physics, atoms must be unstable because the electrons revolving around the nucleus must radiate energy continuously and finally fall into the nucleus. And if they radiate energy continuously, then atoms of all elements must produce the same identical continuous spectrum. And classical physics is wrong on both counts. So clearly in point 5 on page 303, they are talking about the electrodynamic stability. And atoms of all elements, whether radioactive or non-radioactive, are electrodynamically stable. And atoms of all elements, radioactive or non-radioactive, emit a characteristic line spectrum. So this point needs to be corrected in the NCERT textbook for future.